Okay. I was just going over, am I muted again? No, I was just going over the agenda, what we're going over, and that is what is host coaching and why it is so important for building a successful business, and the value of building relationships, and why and with host tips, and for creating a partnership, and why that is so important, because building a team is another part of building a strong and successful business. And you're going to learn about recruiting hosts, and finally learn how to use a host coaching system to help assure every party can be just as successful as possible. Okay. So I feel like hosts are more than just a number, right? They're more than just a commission check, right? And that creates a better experience for them and for you, right? You just feel like that connection is there. And when your hosts know, like, and trust you, they'll go that extra mile in their party. They'll do like literally everything that you say. And that makes it so much easier and so much more fun, right? So questions I think are important. All right. So let's take a second and get in the right frame of mindset before we jump into all of this. All right. So on a piece of paper, take a second and write down and think of all the reasons you can possibly think of why you think host coaching is important in your business. Just brainstorm and just write them all down as quick as you possibly can. Just whatever you can possibly think of, just write it all down. Now, the second question is a little bit tougher. What host coaching challenges do you have? And I want you to be specific about what part or parts of the process actually challenges you, okay? And I want you to actually be specific. If it's, don't say all of it, I want you to be specific. And write down all of the parts of the process that challenges you. All right. And then the third question is, what do you hope to learn in this express host coaching training or this session that I'm offering you tonight? Okay. Can you still hear me? I want to make sure. So the time you invest in coaching your host can make the difference between a flop and an awesome party. Cool. Thanks, Hope. Host coaching is important for supporting your host before, during, and after the party. It doesn't just stop at the party, right? Your host plays one of the most important roles in fun and engaging parties, and the host coaching will set them up to have a successful party. All right. Now raise a hand if you've ever hosted a direct sales party. Just because you're a consultant doesn't mean you haven't actually ever hosted a DS party, right? Keep in mind, keep your hand raised if the consultant partnered with you every step of the way, before, during, and after the party. Your hand still raised? How did that make you feel as a host? Did you feel confident, prepared, and excited about your party? And for those of you that didn't have that partnership experience, how did you feel about your party? Did you feel confused and not knowing what to do, or worried that your party was going to be a total bomb, right? Or that you weren't going to get all those rewards, or that really cool gift that you really wanted, the reason why you wanted to do the party in the first place, right? Which of those experiences do you want your host to have each and every single time? Which of those experiences provides a better outcome? We recommend that you treat every host as if it's their first party, whether they are a past host, that they've done a million parties before, and sometimes they're the worst because they think they know it all, right? Just treat them like they are your first party, their first party, right? After all, unless their consultant was you have no idea whether or not they were coached or left on their own device, right? You want your host to feel confident and excited. No doubt they will have an amazing party, right? And during host coaching, your goal is to help your host feel confident, as you will provide them the tools they needed to help with the best outcome from the party by earning the amazing host rewards and the special offers, whatever their wish list was that they were wanting, why they wanted to book that party in the first place, right? Host coaching is what sets you apart as a professional, all right? While the task you do might not be extremely challenging or time consuming, every time you do, everything you do is intentional, and lets your hosts know that what you're asking them to do is what you and your prior host have found works, right? So throughout the process, you want to remember that it's not about you. It's all about helping the host, right? You have to take you out of the equation. And sometimes that's really, really hard, right? When you create that genuine relationship and partnership with your host, you can both have the outcome you deserve. A fun and rewarding party for the host and for the sales you want and the orders to achieve the goal, the bookings to fill your calendar, and maybe even a new team member, right? Whether you want it or not, because that's what we're here for as a team, to help you succeed. If you're scared of having that new team member, that's fine. Don't worry about filling those roles and those shoes, because that's what we're here for. If you don't feel that you're ready for it, that's okay, because that's what we're here for, to help you along the way. You don't have to know everything. I don't even know everything. You ask me a question, if I don't know the answer, I go find the answer and then I tell you. That's what the virtual world's all about. So I don't have all the answers. It may sound like I know all the answers, but I don't. Nobody knows all the answers. But that's okay. That's what we have our family and our team for, to help support each other. So let's learn a little bit about the value of building relationships and why it's so important for your success. Okay. Have you ever heard that people do business with people they know, like, and trust? I think everybody has, right? Whether you've heard it or not, you live it every time you reach out on Facebook for a recommendation or share a recommendation with someone else, right? Think about that for a minute. Isn't that why we want to build relationships with our hosts? We're counting on them to refer their friends and family by inviting them to the party and encourage their guests to book parties of their own with you, right? Ultimately, they know, like, and trust factor will be especially important when you invite your host to join your team, right? This business is all about relationships and service. And with hosts, it's important because it'll be how you learn to help them have a great party experience. That is the number one reason why people book a party. It's not because of the products. It's not because of it's not because of the it. People mostly think it's because of the products. It's not. It's because of party experience. They want to have fun, right? If you were a party guest, you would start building a relationship with them during the party. And once they've booked a party of their own, you can continue to build that relationship from there, wherever possible. And if it's practical, you and your host consider making a first connection by the phone or a voice clip so that the voice can hear your voice and tap into that enthusiasm about the party, right? This is when you want to learn about your host right then and there. Even share maybe a little bit about yourself, right? To create that connection and to find out why they booked the party. Remember that know, like, and trust factor, right? Now I know that building relationships can come naturally, for some of us, and some of us it can be kind of awkward because I am an introvert and I know some of us are extroverts. And it feels like we're on a first date with someone, right? And I have no idea and have no idea what to say, right? So if that's you, I have a few things, that could get you on that conversation, to get you started on that conversation, right? And the acronym FOIL can help you jumpstart that conversation. Ask about their family, their occupation, their interests, and location, right? Those 4 categories can help you get the ball rolling and then just be a human, if possible. Me, I don't know if that's possible, but I try very hard, right? When you, I mean, if when you find out where they're from and you don't know where that's located, and you've never been there, ask another question like, so have you always been there? Or have you always lived there? What's your favorite part of the area, and so on. Just try to ask more questions about it just to get a little bit more information, and share a little bit more about you too. Try to find that commonality between you two, using consistent touch points with your host before, during, and after the party. You'll continue to build that relationship with them, right? It's really important that you check in with hosts to make sure that they've completed one step before giving them the next. Don't just because it says party day 1, party day 2, party day 3, and you just keep going and going. You have to make sure that they've completed each step before you go on to the next step. All right. Especially on the invite. I have so many teammates that will tell me that they have sent all the host coaching messages. There's no people in the party, and they haven't heard from their host. This reminds me of my chemistry teacher in high school, right? When we would raise our hands up and ask a question because we're so lost and confused, and she would tell us to be quiet while she finished the problem on the board. And we're like, I remember sitting there as a junior in high school, like, why on earth did finishing the problem matter? Right? I was like, no one was learning. We were all confused. This is just like your host, right? If I'm running a party on Facebook or on Table and they've haven't logged in yet or haven't joined the party yet, why have I sent them all the messages for every single day and they haven't even done the messages for inviting, follow-ups, and interaction? Does that make any sense? Make sure your host has done step 1 before giving them step 2. It will keep you in control of where your party is really at. Next question. Does your host need help? Maybe they're a cancellation. I'd rather know that during the invite process than a few days into the party that was supposed to start, right? I'd rather know that than when I've already sent them 5-6 days worth of messages and the party's almost finished. I was like, oh no, I don't feel like doing this, right? You continue to build a relationship with your host as you partner with them to achieve their party goals. The process of host coaching helps make the partnership more effective as you provide simple, clear directions that help build excitement for the party, right? It's very, very easy. And my mouse is giving out on me. You'll want to partner with your host to build attendance, encourage engagement, and secure new bookings. And I've said this time and time again, the easiest and the best way to get bookings is in your parties. Okay. That's the best tip I can give you. The easiest and the best way to get parties is in your parties. And I'm saying that with a smile. Okay. Schedule time to set expectations for the party as a whole. Right? Make sure you confirm the start date, review party expectations, and ask the host to create a wish list. Whether that's getting them on the phone, a quick chat, a voice clip, or a message, communication before the party is key. Absolute key. You need to communicate with the host before the party, all right? It might go something like this. I am so excited about your party. I've got you down for the week of June 22nd. I'll be in touch with you on, and you give them whatever date that you're going to start them inviting, the date that you're going to have them start inviting, and you want to give them all the details. And then you say, do you have any questions I can answer for you right now? And you wait for them to respond, answer any questions, and then go into having them create a wish list to get them excited and locked in on those items they want to get, right? And it might sound something like this. While we wait for the party to get here, go ahead and start working on your wish list. I would love to know what's at the top of your wish list. What products are you excited to spruce up your kitchen with? And send them your wish list link. From there, I talk about the items they picked. Ask them if they knew what X, Y, and Z what that could do, and make it something that isn't its typical use. So it creates further desire for that item, right? You don't want to use just the normal use for it. Just try to come up with something that's not a typical use for that product. For example, I don't know, say a rock crock. Say, oh my goodness, yes, it is so perfect for all your cooking needs because of how many different heating elements you can use on it. Did you see some of these things you can make in the microwave for the fast and easy busy nights? I know we all have that, right? And let's send them some few recipes. And I know we got 1,000,001, you know, microwave rock crock recipes in there, and they are to die for. And they'll be like, you can use the rock crock and the microwave. Are you kidding me? And it only takes 10, 15 minutes. What? Yeah. Or for the brownie pan. Everybody loves the brownie pan, right? Did you see you can batch cook eggs in there for an easy grab to go freezer friendly breakfast sandwich? Oh my gosh. You know, we just have to kind of think outside the box. You have to look at the recipes actually. Um, Building attendance. You're also going to want to partner with your host to build attendance, right? It's one of the first and the most important things to do. You don't want to just have your host join the party and then just start inviting and then just go into the party. You have to encourage that host to invite until there's 40 to 50 friends join that party, and use that party planner that we have for ideas about who to invite, and provide them with the ideas for how to invite and what to say. Okay, there's a party planner that's in Consultants Corner. All right. Now, I found that table is very similar to table in-person invitation process, right? There isn't a way for the host to be lazy, which I love, right? She has to do the individual invites in order for there to actually be a party. Did you hear what I just said? She has to do the individual invites in order for there to actually be a party. While I know this makes some consultants panic, I actually enjoy that information it gives me. If she isn't going to individually send out messages, people are not going to pull up a chair to the table. And the ones who do join are ones that want to be there, right? Unlike Facebook, where everyone just wants to click that button because it's so used to, it's just a social media thing, right? Oh, well, she just invited me, it's just a thing. No, you don't know if they want to be there or if they don't want to be there, right? So I'm not giving false hope on social media algorithms and a host deciding to hit, the invite button and hope for the best, right? So I actually get better results with table parties because I know the people that actually join my table parties are there because they want to be there and they love Pamper Chef parties, right? And they love the experience. They wouldn't go through the whole process of getting to the party if they didn't want to be there and if they didn't want to order. So this reminds me of a cooking show because I have my cooking show hosts give me 40 addresses to fill out on individual postcards, right? Not everyone's going to show up, but we know they got the invite, right? We follow up to see if they're going to come, and typically those that placed an order, right? And I know some of you are like, Robin was table, or Robin's table scares me, and it's new, and I like Facebook better. And Facebook has been good to me until it wasn't, and until it was, and till it changes, and then it's okay again, and it just keeps changing. So why would I change, right? The reality is you need to party where you find success and joy in your business, right? Just like it can be hard for a cooking show consultant to be convinced that a virtual party is a good idea. I'm not here to convince you to have a party like I do, right? Because I do parties on table and I do parties on Facebook. I give my hosts the option. However, cooking show consultants, weren't you glad there was another option to run your business when the pandemic came along? You would have been out of business. Learning new things so that your business can adapt, when things are out of control is the best thing ever, right? And notice I said when and not if, right? It's not etched in stone. It's just something to learn. You know, it's just something to learn. So the reality is that the steps to attendance are really the same no matter how you party. Individual invites, reminders, and broadcasting. I can't stress enough that you need to start your host coaching early. Yes, we live in a time where we can book a party and throw it the next day if we want to, but that's really not ideal, not unless we really have to, right? So for those of you who are operating that way consistently, excuse me, you need to take a minute and rebook your business mindset. While a commission from this party could mean groceries and gas and activity fees for your kids or that trip to go see your grandbaby, your host's quality of life does not hinge on her host rewards. So while you know she has enough time to do your invite steps in about 15 minutes, the reality is she's going to see your message and forget about it. The next day you'll check in and she'll go, oh yeah. And complete the first task by under inviting. And then the next day you'll check in again and she'll send a few more invites out against her better judgment. Because surely her acquaintance from high school doesn't still itch. You know, and this is the dance she'll do back and forth as you partner and guide her to great attendance. So it's a back and forth dance. If you don't have that perfect host, right? So if you don't start early enough, this isn't pleasant for you or the host. You start to feel desperate because the party is supposed to start and the guests aren't in there. And she starts to feel like it's not going well because you probably getting impatient and are feeling more self-saving in your words to her, right? When you book the party, if it's close, send that host packet right away. If it's not for a while, I mean, how many of us are doing work the last month, or two and told check back in the fall? Send them a mini catalog and a note, letting them know you're excited to connect with them later. At least a week before you want the party to start, right? Schedule your host coaching call or send your video or get them a message and need in order for you to confirm that date is good too, and get them started in on your instructions on what to expect from you in the experience. After the phone call, walk them through how to send individual messages or texts to their guests to help guests to the party. This is the most important step for any party style. Doesn't matter what kind of party you do. The host needs to talk to the guests before the party starts. If you have low attendance, I can guarantee you it goes back and forth and back to the attendance step being under emphasized, All right. Also make sure that the host understands that the people don't RSVP on this first touch. A follow-up message was something like, hey, I know things are really crazy these days, but I wanted to make sure you got the invite I sent you. Come join us for the Pampered Chef party on Facebook or Table, whichever one you're doing. And then include the link for the guest. What I meant by the first touch was if they don't actually click the join button, Facebook started that new thing where it's invited, but they didn't actually join it. The second touch from the host to the guest serves as a gentle reminder to the guest that it was supposed to actually take action and join the party. So you'll also want to educate the host on broadcasting on social media multiple times in different ways, right? Give them a post to let them know the party's coming up. Encourage them to post a key, a product that they love and invite people to check things out, or maybe they're new to Pampered Chef and they're going to post a picture of something they want to replace in their kitchen or something that's on their wish list, or maybe they want to ask, what they think they should get from Pampered Chef because they don't know what to get. We know that one post Facebook was seen by their sister, their mother, or their dog's friend, or whoever, and that's it. They need to post multiple times for people to see the commercials at the party, right? And maybe even tag a friend or two along the way. And then, yes, after they've done all of this, go ahead and let them touch invite the button. That's fine. But do that as a last resort. The personal invitations are the most important. They need to go out first, right? And there's one in Table and there's one in Facebook. But this should be like sprinkles on the cake, right? If I made you a birthday cake and it only has sprinkles, you'd be really disappointed, right? No, don't let your host party only have sprinkles. It needs to have more. It needs to have lots more. I lost my spot. Oh, good grief. Here it is. Not having a mouse is really giving me problems. All right, don't let your host party with only sprinkles, right? My table party is officially run Sunday through Friday. It just depends, sometimes I only do 3 days. Just depends on if they want to do an express party. So I want my host to have completed their invite process by the week before. So we can spend the weekend catching up on those last minute guests and get out attendance goals before the first day of the party, right? So now that we have people in the party, let's talk about the host job during the party. When your host guests engage in the party, it's just more fun and more informative for everyone, right? Once the guests are in the party, your host job and your two is to participate, right? The party is where you build relationships with your guests so that they will know, like, and trust you enough to continue doing business with you, whether that's booking their own party, ordering from time to time, or even joining your team. That's so much easier if people are interacting in the party, right? Well, guess what? They do this more when their host is interacting because they already know, like, and trust the host. So help the host engage in the party by providing clear directions and specific ideas to make the party more fun for everyone. All right. Now here's some ideas for partnering with your host. Bingo. Everybody loves bingo. You create a fun bingo board for them that has an engagement ideas along with encouraging them to invite, get booking ideas and sales. Here's an example of, what some people do. Starting from the top, you can do any prize you want, changing up from the amount of offering items you already have in the stash at home, or do it for fun and keep checking in on them, whatever works for you and your budget. But sometimes putting money into your business helps. And I'm going to explain how in this case. Often my hosts don't walk away with the full amount unless they have a 1K party, a 1,000 party, or close to it. I have designed the bingo here with 2 easier tasks and then 2 tasks that have a little bit, you have to work a little bit harder at, right? So to speak. But I still make it very doable so that they're motivated just to try it, right? I mean, you don't want to make the task too hard. No one will play along. But if you make them too easy, you're going to lose money. And you don't want to lose money. We're not about losing money, right? For instance, to get just the $5, they have to first have a qualifying party. A qualifying party is $200. And then one of the 3 things, either 3 bookings, let's just say there's a store you could walk into and pay for those bookings. Who would easily pay $5 for 3 bookings? I know I would, or second, at least $500 in sales. Once again, show of hands, who would offer someone a free gift for $5 if they got $500 in a party or $500 in sales? I have seen people offer much higher incentives for someone to just book a party with them. Or third, they just have to have at least 10 buying guests. And during the summertime or pretty much any time, that's really not a problem. Everything else is either to increase the number of party guests or to boost engagement, so everyone has a fun party experience. Some examples include a welcome post, because we wouldn't have a party not to welcome or greet our people, right? Or a thank you post, as people order. Create a wish list post. Have your host comment on every post, or have them post it themselves. Have your host tag their party guests in recipes that they think that they would enjoy, and asking your host to tag people in the Google survey. Their opinion absolutely matters. It's just a survey asking the guests how they were liking the party, showing the specials and asking if they're going, what they think about taking advantage of any specials if they were given the host special or the guest special, or even the business opportunity and maybe having a party of their own. We all know that guests love party prices, right? Or if you're thinking bingo isn't your style, just send these things in like daily text messages yourself, or just make your own type of images, and do image post daily tips instead of messages. So we've learned how to partner with your host and to build attendance and encourage engagement. So what do we do to partner with your host for bookings, right? And that's where it gets a little slippery, because some hosts will do it and some won't. Partnering with your host for bookings is just a win-win if you do it right. Right? Their rewards with this is going to be tongue-tied for me. Booking bonus when 3 guests book from their party. All right. And it's called a 3 party booking bonus. All right. And what a great way to get products they left on their wish list at a discount at those future parties, right? That their friends are booking from, right? Our job is to help our hosts maximize their rewards, helping them earn a $50 credit, which is a bonus. Pampered Chef doesn't have to give. We give it as a bonus when they have 3 friends book and hold a qualifying party, which is $200. That's it. And they get a 40% off item at each of those parties as part of the rewards. And if you have built a solid relationship with your host and have given them a great party experience, it should feel natural for the host to refer you out to their family and friends. Am I not right? Do not shy away from expecting your host to partner with you in this area. If you have done your job, it should feel like a natural extension of the relationship for your host to basically leave you a good review for you, right? And here's some specific ideas you can do to intentionally partner with your host for bookings, all right? Make sure that advertising the 3-party booking bonus is consistent in your host coaching, right? Touch point. This goal gives them a tangible goal, all right? It has to be tangible for bookings from their party. For virtual parties, I recommend doing this after all your host coaching to attendance is complete. There are a lot of moving parts with host coaching, and their number one job is to invite people to the parties so that they can get the rewards to begin with. All right. So I would do it after the host coaching for attendance is complete and then start on the booking process. That's when I would do that. So once the party is started, you can start advertising that extra bonus that they can earn. Okay. For an in-party show, this would be a perfect conversation for you when you arrive at the host house before the guests start arriving. You might send your host something through a text message like this. Part of my job is to maximize your host rewards, both within the party and after. Yes, you even can earn more rewards after the party is done. Every party that books from yours gives you more discounts. And after 3 parties are held and have earned their own rewards, you will get an email from Pampered Chef with a $50 account credit for you to use as you wish. I'd love to partner with you in getting you 3. I trust that you found hosting a party has been super easy and fun, and you can easily recommend this to your friends and family. Which of your friends would you think would be great to work with? Which of your friends you think would be as great to work with as you've been? Now, some of you might be discouraged because you rarely get 3 bookings from a party, right? But remember, this is an extra bonus, right? For those hosts who really go over the top with their partnership with you, all right? Just 1 booking will allow you to maintain your business, and 2 will allow for growth, right? Keep that in the back of your head. 1 booking will allow you to maintain your business at each party. 2 will allow for growth. I always keep this post-it note on my computer. It is a quote that Kathy Cocazello, who is from home office, it says, your job's not through until you've booked 2, right? So that is something that is on my computer, that is posted in my brain. Your job's not through until you book 2. All right. So you maybe you choose to give your host, it just for you just do whatever feel is right in your business. Maybe you choose to give your host a personal gift with each individual booking to help your hosts feel motivated as they work towards 3, just like with the bingo. Offering bonuses while you leverage Pampered Chef's generous bonus when they reach 3 bookings can create like a now and later bonus, right? I like now and later's candy. Getting that booking now, and maybe they get a seasoning of their choice from you later, and the season, getting that booking now and getting maybe a seasoning of their choice from you. And then when the booking is held, they get that future party gift and that $50 credit later. That made sense. Next, you have your host party, post in the party and tag you on a personal timeline and a picture of an upcoming host rewards and why they had so much fun and found it so easy to host with you. Friends will see it, and they will have built some trust factor with you, so that when you do your due diligence of asking every guest if they would like to earn their own rewards, they know their current host thought it was a great idea, and maybe halfway through the party, create a group message with the host and one of their friends in it, and give them words to say, inviting their friend to host with you. Maybe it's a group message. Facebook will actually allow the guest who isn't your Facebook friend to see the message. And then you can come in afterwards with an attitude to serve this referral well. Make the guests know that they can book months out if they needed to. Sometimes close friends and family of the host want to have some space in between their parties, And I challenged my host to do this 10 times with 10 different friends so they can work to secure 3 books, three parties. Now, not every host will do what you ask of them, but it's our job to show up and be consistent in our parties and in our systems. Those hosts that do follow up with our tips are going to end up taking advantage of everything Pampered Chef has to offer. And speaking of taking advantage of everything Pampered Chef has to offer, let's talk about turning your hosts into team members. Hosts are generally your best recruit leads. And why? Because they've already said yes to you. They said yes to Pampered Chef when they said yes to a party, right? And you probably heard the saying, ask your host 5 times, right? And while you do want to connect with every host about Pampered Chef opportunity, this should always come from a place of service and authenticity. All right. The 5 asks aren't exactly even asks. Sometimes it's just watering of a seed, planting the seed in the form of a compliment, or making sure your host is aware of the kit credit that they just earned, or how great they're doing at following directions and doing the work for you, right? There are 5 common touch points before, during, and after every party that offers the perfect opportunity to invite hosts to join your team. And they're so easy. It's not like you have to say, would you like to join? Would you like to join? Would you like to join? It's not all about that. It's not uncommon to hear no the first time you invite someone to join your team. Honestly, show of hands, how many of you said yes the first time you were asked? For me, I was never asked, which might even be scarier, right? Because how many people have you not asked? Instead, I asked the consultant that was running the party I was in. I know what you're thinking. I wish all of my recruits were like that, right? Or your upline was so lucky she didn't have to do any of the work that joined your team, right? And that is far from true. All right. Even for someone like me that was willing and ready to sign up, even when as far as reaching out to her, it took a month after signing up to actually start working on business. My health took a decline. I wasn't anticipating it, ended up going in the hospital. So once I recovered, I was back at it. And, I fumbled through it. I did this and I did that and whatever, I played around. So yeah, I was one of those. I wanted that big kit. I had to have all the products. I had all good intentions, but my heart wasn't in it, So if someone tells you, oh, I'm sure gonna do this, and does that without a little nudge, I can tell you now that very few join on the first time, and you ask them without knowing all the perks, People know when you're not. So just build the relationships and the confidence and about how to build the business could be a good benefit over time, right? The first touch point happens before the party even starts. And you can even see it in Consultant Corner. Offers a sincere compliment, something you notice about them, and then share why you think that they would be a great consultant. This is a time you can let them know that their party could become their launch party. If they say no, you could prepare them for the next ask by, I don't know, saying something like this. I don't want you to feel pressured if I invite you again because, in an authentic way, tell them why you think the business could benefit them and what it could bring, what they could bring to the team. Just be authentic, be true, tell them why you think that they would be a great consultant. A second touch point would be is when sales needed for the kit credit when they've reached it at 200. Congratulations, your party sales have already qualified. You received whether it's $25 or $50 towards a purchase of a kit and start your own Pampered Chef business. Have you given any more thought since we last spoke? It's very, very easy. Other touch points that provide an opportunity to sincerely and authentically invite your host include, just certain numbers when people join the party. It's like, oh my gosh, you've already reached, I don't know, 60 people on your party when we haven't even started yet. Your friends and family must really love Pampered Chef. This is an indirect planting a seed and boosting their confidence to see that they can indeed do what you're doing. Or when they get a booking, say, oh my gosh, you've already got 3 people that have already booked a party. Are you sure I can't hand these parties over to you and you run and get the sales from these? I would be here to help you every step of the way. What do you think? Or say something indirectly like your friends are absolutely loving this. They would love to have you as their consultant. I am so sure of this. Just do indirect sayings, and finally, when you're closing the party, once the party ends, give them a breakdown of the rewards, which would include the kit credit they earned. It might sound something like this. You've earned such and such amount of free and still have that kit credit you can use if you'd like to try the business out, for 30 days. You have four half off items and additional 30% off everything else. Do you need any help picking out your rewards? And did you get a chance to check out those new kit, consultant kits? Hopefully you've learned that asking your host 5 times isn't exactly, or actually, do you want to join? Do you want to join? Do you want to join? Hey, you want to be a consultant? You want to be on my team? Just be sincere and informing, them with multiple touch points throughout the partnership, the planting the seeds. It's called just planting the seed, I mean, in order to make sure you're host coaching effectively, you have to be consistent. Consistency is the key. You have resources available to stay on track and make sure you don't let some of those concepts fall through the cracks. All right. Now, I know some of us might have super active outlines, effective outlines, while others are feeling they're navigating more on their own. Now, whatever your perception, do not underestimate the resources that home office provides for you on Consultants Corners. You have a party planner for every party type that outlines the rewards a host can enjoy and the steps to take to have a successful party, right? You have a system for host coaching and parties and orders and Consultants Corner. And a host coaching tool includes a checklist to help you remember and track the key touch points and tasks for host coaching in a party setup. And the key tasks are organized by different touch points. I mean, the reality is that any system works if you use it. Sure, some might just match your personality or your lifestyle is better, but consistency and actually having a plan is what really matters. I mean, think about it. Any diet works if you stick with it. I know, I've been there, but the problem is that we eat a salad and complain that our pants still don't fit. We eat one solid, right? So then we give up our carbs for a week, and then the mirror is still showing both chins. I mean, okay, we laugh, but there's no shortcut to success, right? It's all about having something that works for you and you can be consistent with it, right? While your systems might differ from one consultant to the next. Okay, raise your hand. Who loves notebook and pen, right? Okay, where are my spreadsheet lovers? Point taken, right? And that's fantastic if it's working. It's okay to find the process that works for you, all right? What's important is that you are doing things that are productive to the partnership with your host, all right? You also want to have a system to stay connected to the host after the party. A VIP group, that is a place where hosts and customers can continue to get to know you and to book parties from you. Remember, they booked because they like you, right? Try to request them on social media or, get them set up in your newsletters. If you don't have a newsletter, maybe a recipe club or something like that. Just try to figure out a way to stay connected so they can continue to be a recruit lead or maybe even an annual host. Set up a system using something like Project Broadcast or a task or an event on your calendar in order to check in with them to see if they got their products and if they like them. You don't want them feeling like you just took their commission and ran, right? Hopefully built a relationship and one that will continue with referrals and future sales, and when host coaching is done effectively and consistently, you will get better results from your party, better attendance, a better party experience for guests, and more compelling stories to share about Pampered Chef, business opportunities. And for a minute, let's just revisit the questions you answered, at the beginning of the learning session. What, if anything, changed how you feel about the value of host coaching? What did you identify as a solution to any of the host coaching challenges you wrote down? Next, I want you to put a star next to the one thing you learned that was on your list of things you wanted to learn. And then finally, I want you to write down 3 things you learned in this section that you will implement in your business immediately. And then I want you to commit to doing those 3 things for the next 3 months, no matter what. And I want you to add one more thing to that list. To learn more about this topic, I want you to set a date to start, revisit, or complete the host coaching program in Dash. I'm sure your head is spinning right now, right? And hopefully you've learned and will take away a lot from our time together today. But hosting is a partnership with a consultant and building your relationship with the host before the party, so you know what kind of experience to give. Build your relationship with your host during the invite process so you can confidently reach out early enough to help the host through the nuances that go through successful attendance strategies. Okay, partner with that host to get bookings. All right, if you have served your host well throughout the entire process and given the host a positive experience, it will make sense to give out referrals. Right, help your host make and see themselves as your next teammate and create the desire for that $50 booking bonus, and find a system that works for you and use it. All right. Home office has fantastic resources to help you get started. And if you've just been winging it, you'll learn to tweak it according to what feels right for your personality and style. And you are the secret sauce to your business, but tweak. Stop jumping from one source to the next. Okay. Too often we see consultants come to a training and ask, oh, can I have your script? And then when they throw out, and then they totally throw out everything they've ever done for the new system. It's important to learn from other successful consultants. Seek out those people. I kid you not, seek them out, but stop throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Okay. I hope you're able to take some practical tips away from all of this tonight. I can't wait to see how effective host coaching unlocks more success in your business. All right. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments below. And don't forget that we do have a classroom for our team that is absolutely filled with all different kinds of resources in host coaching, that has a template of host coaching. Boards has host coaching. But this is a one-on-one training specifically just for host coaching to give you tips on what to do, what not to do. But if you do have any questions, please reach out or comment below, and I will help you out the best that I can. Okay. I hope you guys have a nice evening. I will see you guys later. Bye.